From the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, you are tuned in to the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Yeah, I figured I'd play Real American, Hulk Hogan's theme, because it is Veterans Day on Monday, and my dad was, speaking of Vietnam, my dad was in the Navy. He was a Navy SEAL during the Vietnam War. So, and before that, of course, we heard Jenny's reading of that great article written by Emily Rose from Medium.com, Dear Pain Patient, Please Die. And there's actually a through line here. It didn't occur to me really until now, or maybe it did subconsciously. Pain patients, of course, and we've talked about this a lot on the show. It's something that's affected Jenny, obviously. It's also something that has really affected my mother, and it affects millions of people. All these pain patients, legitimate pain patients, have been cut off in one way or another from the medications that they legitimately need just to function because they're suffering from conditions which have chronic pain. And, of course, our government has to look like they're doing something. Again, stress that, look like they're doing something about the so-called quote-unquote opioid crisis, and pain patients are the ones who've been punished. And Jenny has often said, she said it on the show too, that it's not just the government with the pain medications. It's the way insurance companies cut people off. The way insurance companies won't pay for things, they find ways to get around paying for things that they deem, quote unquote, experimental treatments or whatnot. That's something. Look, I don't necessarily support. I don't support Medicare for all. But when Elizabeth Warren said, she made a comment. This I agree with her on. Elizabeth Warren said during one of the debates, she said, everyone talks about how much they love their insurance plan until they get really sick and they start getting denied for coverage, so which I think is a great point. So you have these insurance companies who, everyone, fortunately, if you're fortunate enough to have not experienced it directly, everyone knows someone who has been through something like that, or has at least heard the stories where, it seems like, yeah, the idea is, hey, just die so we don't have to pay for you. Those are the real death panels. That's what Jenny often says when the insurance company says, we don't want to have to pay for you anymore, so we're going to find a way to deny you coverage. But the through line here with that and veterans, a lot of veterans are also affected by this type of thing. And the thing about, dear patient, please die, I'm reminded of something my father said to me once, because my dad is a veteran. Like I said, he was in the Navy. He was a Navy SEAL during Vietnam. And he had a heart attack a number of years ago now. And he's doing great. He made a full recovery and whatnot. He's very fortunate. But he's a veteran. And I remember he got a letter from the VA while he was still in the hospital in the days after the heart attack. And he's still recovering. And he gets this very nice, very wonderful letter talking about how, all these platitudes about, you served your country and now it's our time. It's our turn to serve you while you need us with what's happened and whatnot. And we're going to be there for you and make sure you get all the care you need and whatnot. And I remember my dad felt really good about that, and supported by the country that he fought for. Right. And I remember him telling me this, and I remember thinking, that sounds too good to be true. This isn't the VA that I'm used to hearing about. And then what happens? What happens? Well, of course, it ends up being an incredible hassle and all kinds of red tape for my dad to then get the care that he needed after his heart attack. And he had a lot of problems with the VA. Now, again, he's doing great health-wise, but they did not make it easy. And that letter was BS, quite frankly. And my father said to me at one point, and I'll never forget this, we were talking on the phone one night about the problems that he's having with the VA. And he said to me, Matty, I feel like they just want me to hurry up and die. I feel like that's the attitude of the Veterans Administration. Just hurry up and die so we don't have to deal with you. You know, that's one way to clear out the backlog, right, at the VA, if people just start dying. So I was reminded of that, you know, with that article that Jenny read about, you know, dear patients, please die. I remember what my dad said to me about. That's how he felt, you know. And it's all shameful. And, you know, look, I say this all the time. And as far as healthcare goes, and I do believe healthcare is a right. It's a human right. I firmly believe that. And, you know, we can have all the discussions about Medicare for all who want it, which I think is Mayor Pete's plan. I support something more like that. I think everyone should have access to adequate or preferably better than adequate healthcare. But I have sort of a guiding principle that I use in terms of how I think about this. I always say this, you know, because there's, of course, all the naysayers who say, well, you can't cover everybody. There's no way. And it's impossible to afford it and this and that. And we can't adopt a system like Canada has or somebody else has. We just can't do it. We don't have the resources and this and that. And I always say BS. And this is the underlying principle with which I approach all of this in terms of how I think about it. We live in the United States. We live in the most prosperous, most innovative, most successful country in the history of the world. And based on that, you are never going to convince me that in the most prosperous, most innovative, most successful country in the history of the world, that we can't figure out a way to make sure that every American has access to better than adequate health care. You're just never going to convince me of that. We got plenty of money for everything else. We got plenty of money to make sure that military contractors and weapons manufacturers and all of them, you know, they've always got plenty of business coming in. But we can't make sure somehow, with everything that we pay for, we have people in this country rationing insulin. I know someone. Jenny mentions her occasionally, too. We know someone. She listens to the show sometimes. And this is a widespread problem. We have people, think about this, in the most prosperous, most innovative, most successful country, the richest country in the history of the world, and we have Americans rationing insulin because they can't afford it anymore. That is happening in this country, the richest country in the world. We have people rationing their insulin, putting their lives at risk. So I'm sorry, but I'm just not, you know, when I hear people say, oh, Matt, there's just no way to fix all of this. We just can't afford it. We just don't have the resources. There's just no way to get it done. Sorry. No, I don't accept that. And neither should you. And shame on all of you who do, quite frankly. Because it's BS. I'm not saying you have to support Medicare for all. I'm not saying you have to support Elizabeth Warren's plan. I don't support Elizabeth Warren's plan. I'm not in favor of upending the entire, I mean, what is it, 1/7 of the American economy? I'm not in favor of upending and disrupting the entire healthcare sector of the economy or putting insurance companies out of business. I don't even begrudge, like, when I hear people say, somebody like Elizabeth Warren say, oh, you know, the insurance companies with their billions of dollars in profits. Great, they're making billions of dollars in profits. That in and of itself is not a problem for me. I don't mind. It's business. They should make money. They're making profits. Great. You know, and you got to be profitable to continue to do research and development and all that. I got no problem with that. I don't support killing off the insurance companies and putting everything under the umbrella of the government. I don't. But I'll tell you what I do support. I do support some sort of public option, and I do support something that makes sure that every American has access to health care, because it is a right. There's no excuse for it not being a right. I used to kind of think, I'll admit, there was a time I was kind of in that mindset of, well, you know, maybe not everyone can get it. Maybe some people just have to settle for going to the emergency room. You know, you can't make everything perfect for everybody. Some people are going to fall through the cracks. I used to kind of be in that mindset myself. And I woke up and I said, no, not in the United States. Not in the United States. You know, every other modern industrialized country figures out a way to do better. Why is it that when it comes to this one thing, when it comes to healthcare, which affects all of us existentially, quite frankly, why is it when it comes to this one thing, our standards and our expectations are so low, where it's so easy for so many people to just kind of shrug it off and say, well, sorry. You know, what are you going to do? Can't help everybody. Not everybody. I guess not everyone, even people who, you know, used to be able to get the insulin they needed, and now they can't because the price skyrocketed. You just can't help everybody. What are you going to do? It's capitalism, right? It's the dark side of capitalism. It's not perfect. Some people are going to suffer and die needlessly. That's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Not in the United States. Not in the richest country on earth, in the history of the world. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. Why do so many people are just okay with it? And you know what happens too? And it's so predictable. It's human nature. A lot of people are okay with it until something goes wrong. And then they realize how messed up the whole thing really is. Right? Whether it's, you know, now, you know, they couldn't afford insurance, and then something goes really wrong health-wise, and now they're wishing they had insurance. And it's not that they were irresponsible and decided not to have insurance. It was that they just literally could not afford it. Or they have insurance, and they're so happy with their insurance. Their insurance is great. They got a great job with a great insurance plan, and then something goes wrong. And their insurance company says, oh, you need this life-saving treatment? Oh, sorry. I mean, we're glad you're happy with your insurance and everything, but we found an excuse to deny you coverage. Why do we as a country accept any of this? You know? I mean, I'm sorry. We might have to spend a little bit less on guns and bombs and weapons technology to make sure everyone can have access to health care. I'm okay with it. We already spend, think about you know how much, I mean, I don't know the numbers, and I'm not good at math. I'm not going to get into hard numbers, but does everybody realize that every year, this has become a point of controversy, especially in the last few years in a lot of cities, but every year, there are cities in this country that receive, you know, military grade weaponry, like the Bearcat, for example. Some people were, I don't know what ended up happening, if in Concord they did get the Bearcat or not, but you have cities that get this surplus military hardware. Like, you know, like, I guess maybe there are some cities that need to have tanks that can roll on a moment's notice if a riot breaks out. I don't know. But our government spends so much on all this stuff because that's how the military-industrial complex works, because war is our greatest export in this country. We spend so much on that we end up having more than we need And so some of that military hardware is then given to police departments around the country. That's how much we spend on that. So apparently, we just have money to burn. And there is no such thing as fiscal conservatism anymore. That's dead. We've talked about that a lot on the show. Any politician who tells you, oh, I'm a fiscal conservative, they're liars. There literally is no such thing. So since we're not worried about debts and deficits, why are we worried about spending enough money to make sure everyone can get their damn insulin? Why is that some barrier that we just can't figure out a way through? Can't figure out a way to fix that. It's obscene. And it's just shameful that we accept that. And it's time to stop accepting it. Like I said, and again, I'm not saying I support Elizabeth Warren's plan or I support Bernie Sanders' plan. I tend to, like I said, I tend to be more like, well, let's have a public option. You don't have to destroy the insurance industry, because to do something that disruptive, I would be very worried about how that potentially damages the economy. And I don't want to necessarily do something so drastic that we end up killing the healthcare sector in an attempt to save it, right? I don't want to blow the whole thing up and start over. That to me is kind of nuts. But we got to do something, kids. Something's got to be done. Something's got to change. And I think it's going to. I'm actually optimistic about it. Let's see. Before we run out of time, because, it is Friday. Like I said, we wrap up a little bit early. But if anyone wants to get in with a call really quickly, 603-250-6007. We do have a little bit of time left. 603-250-6007. There is a lot in the Facebook live chat. Let me just, we'll address some of these comments. Wow, there's a lot here. Oh, hello to Carol Robideau, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Carol Robideau, of course, from Manchester Inklink, which is a great site. Michael Albers says, someone's health should not be an investment scheme. Whether or not someone gets sick should not be something people can gamble on. I agree. Replying to Michael, Brian Mackey says, or take money from to pay for something else, like my Social Security. Michael Albers says, the money is there. Just move the money that gets paid in payroll deductions to pay premiums and out-of-pocket expenses to taxes. Yeah, there's a way to do it. There's definitely a way to do it. There's always a way to do it. Jenny says, from first responder who mattered to burden who doesn't, curiosity of breast cancer, my own fault. Brian says, best rant since I joined this show, and that's a fact, according to Brian. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. I get pretty passionate about this stuff. Michael Albers says, universal coverage means people can get preventative care and reduces demand on emergency rooms, lowering hospital costs overall. That is a great point, Michael Albers. Thank you for saying that. That is a great point. If people have access to health care, they can do. And by the way, there's not enough, I think probably in the macro, there's never enough emphasis on preventative care in this country, but if you can keep people healthy, they will cost less in the long run, right? It costs less to take good care of yourself than it does to deal with the health problems later on. But that is a great point, Michael. Michael says, no, dismantle it. Healthcare should not be a profit business. I don't necessarily agree there, Michael, but we don't really have time to get into that in depth right now. We might have to save that for next week, because I would like to. That's the one part of this where you and I might disagree. So it sounds like you would be more for an Elizabeth Warren type scenario. Michael says health insurance companies don't invest in research and development. That's true. Good point. Yeah, that's true. You're right, because that would be more pharmaceutical companies and so forth, not health insurance. You're right about that. Oh, boy. Good thing we're almost out of time, because I'm really starting to cough. Speaking of health, I just have a cold. Michael says, healthcare being a profit business is about as unethical as a privatized prison system. Well, I do agree about private prisons. Absolutely. Mike Pelopita agrees. Hello, Mike. Brian says it's low because our government can't wide their ass without having $1 million meeting. Oh, what? It's supposed to be wipe. Without having $1 million meeting to then come up with nothing, both sides. I do agree with that, Brian. And sell off the military graveyards. Yep. Michael says war never changes. They're preparing for when the poor to middle class eventually get sick of it all and rise up against the rich. Leave the past behind. Kill it if you have to. So there you go. A lot of great comments in there. Let's see. What do we have? We can probably fit one more thing in here. Want to do something fun? I had something fun ready. See if I can pull that up real quick. Oh, yeah. You know what it was? Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. From the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, you are tuned in to the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed. So at the beginning of the show, you might have heard I played this.
Hey!
Now, you might know what that is if you're a longtime listener. You might have heard that before, but most of you are probably like, what was that guttural sound? That was Paula White. Paula White is one of Trump's quote-unquote faith advisors, right? She's also a televangelist. She preaches this fake prosperity gospel, you know, God wants us to be rich and all that, even though there's that thing in the Bible about it's easier to pass through the eye of a needle than for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter heaven. But of course, that's all. It's that part. It's that part that's just metaphor, and you're not supposed to take literally, right? Everything else, like, you know, if it's something about it, you know, that's anti-gay or whatever, that you're supposed to take literally. But not the thing about rich people. No, God actually wants you to be rich. And Paula White also is married to Jonathan Cain of Journey. Well, here's the latest from Paula White. Oh, so that was Paula White speaking in tongues. That's what that terrible sound is.
Hey!
I've actually tried to do that myself. I think it would be fun to be able to speak in tongues. Oh, I hear a whole bunch of sirens. There's a bad accident somewhere. I'd like to be able to be like, ma, mama casa, you casa, si casa, blah, 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 whatever. I think that would be impressive. Wow, it's loud out there, those sirens. Well, this is from rightwingwatch.com. Paula White has new White House job and new book, and she says that God used her to get Trump elected. I don't know if y'all know this, but the deity, God, is very, very pro-Trump. Says here, just 2 weeks before it was revealed that President Donald Trump's spiritual advisor, Paula White, had officially joined the White House staff, White's most recent book became the latest evangelical offering to portray Trump's election as part of a divine plan. Well, that's very exciting. Can you imagine? It's part of a... White is a prosperity gospel preacher who tells supporters they can access divine blessings by sending money to her ministry. Speaking of something that should not be a business. But it is. Yeah, I don't know if y'all knew this, but religion is organized religion is a business. And business is good, especially in the Trump era, where we have the godliest of presidents, Donald John Trump. Her new memoir, Something Greater, Finding Triumph Over Trials, seems designed to humanize White by emphasizing the challenges she has faced in her life, and I'm sure she's had it tough, and to portray herself and her relationship with Trump as part of God's plan to help the U.S., quote, live out its holy calling on the earth, unquote. The timing of the book's release, a year before the 2020 election, is certainly no coincidence. So the article goes on to talk about her book and whatnot. And by the way, I know some of you are skeptical and you think I'm mocking, but I'll just remind you of something, a personal experience that I had. And then we'll end with this because we do have to wrap up in a second. But, I had a dream, and maybe it was a dream. I don't know. It might have been a dream, but if it was a dream, it was the most vivid, real dream I've ever had. I dreamt that I died in my sleep, and St. Peter came to visit me and take me to heaven. And he took me to the pearly gates, and he brought me in. He said, "It's your time, Matt. It's your time. I know you got a radio show to do, but it's your time." And he brought me in, and he brought me into God's office. And, of course, God had this big golden desk that he sits at. And behind God, there was a giant American flag, because we are God's favorite, and a giant portrait of Ronald Wilson Reagan, President Ronald Wilson Reagan. And then off to the side, and I'll never forget this, off to the side of God's desk was a big life-size cardboard cutout of our president, Donald John Trump. So I believe it. I believe. I know I sound like I mock him. Trump, I mean, not God. I would never do that. I know I sound like I mock Trump, but I believe in Trump. Underneath it all, it's all done with affection. I believe in Trump. And why? Because I know that God believes in Trump. Yes. Well, let's try to remember that this Veterans Day weekend. I don't know quite how to wrap up that bit, but I do enjoy, I have a lot of fun making fun of these prosperity gospel people because, and by the way, if you're new to the show, just so you know, all these televangelist types like Paula White and Jim Baker and all these mega church people, I personally am convinced that they are atheists, that they actually don't believe in God at all. Because if they did believe in God, they would be terrified to do what they do and treat religion as a business. Because I did go to a Catholic school from grade 2 to grade 8, and I do remember the story in the Bible where, excuse me, where Jesus went into the temple and he saw the money changers, as I think they're called in the Bible, the merchants selling stuff in God's house. And I believe it is the one instance in the Bible of Jesus violently losing his temper and actually started turning over the tables in anger because these people were selling things in his father's house. And so if these people like if Paula White actually believed in God, would she not be terrified of enriching herself, so to speak, in God's name? Wouldn't she be afraid that there might be a little something called judgment at the end of her life? So these people don't believe in, and I don't believe Trump actually believes in God either. I think he's, because whenever Trump, it's actually hilarious. Whenever Trump attempts to discuss his quote unquote faith, it is so cringe-inducingly awkward that it's like, oh, come on, he can't even fake it convincing. He's just so full of poop. We'll use a nice word to end the show. Okay, so we got to wrap up, but just quickly, I want to get to these comments. Mike Pelopita says, very passionate show today. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Brian Mackey says, love the read, Jenny. Have a great weekend. Very nice. Mike Pelopita says, do it, Matt. Michael Albert says, just to clarify, I'm not opposed to, I'm glad I saw this comment. Just to clarify, I'm not opposed to doctors making a profitable living on their profession or even for-profit hospitals But I think that our system of health insurance is unethical, where you basically have investors betting on people not getting sick. Point taken, Michael. Point taken. I'd like to dive into that more next week, and hopefully you can. Hopefully you're in the chat room for that. Verinet March says it is. That's why I'm not involved in organized religion. Oh, referring to my comment about religion being a business. Tithing to be considered pious. Tithing, of course, when you give some of your money to the quote unquote church. Brian Mackey says, LOL. Yeah, right way to end it. Thank you. Mike Pelopita says, yes, poop. Yes. Well, it's a great word, is it not? Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. From the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, you are tuned in to the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Here we are. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed. Oh, it's so dark out already. Hey. It's, and I'm still coughing. I know I say it every day. I'm almost over this cough. I'm so close. But anyway, here we are. Yes. It is, Thursday, November 7th, 2019. Matt Connarton Unleashed. We are live. I need a gulp of water. Say hello to Mike Martineau over here.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Keep talking for a second.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Manchester. How are you guys doing?
Not just Manchester. It's we got listeners all over the place, Michael Martineau.
Yes, we do.
Oh, my goodness. I wish I had a lozenge. This really is bad. Wow. Tell us about yourself, Michael, while I take another giant gulp of water.
Yeah, just getting ready for another work shift tonight over at the farm. And going to be a great shift. Haven't worked there since last week, so we'll see how it goes.
I think you're saying it wrong. I believe here in New England we pronounce it the farm.
Yeah, true.
At the farm.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a little bit better now, so I can try to finish introing the show here as I pour some more water into my Hop Knot mug. You know, Matt Connarton Unleashed is sponsored by the Hop Knot and also our newest sponsor here at WMNH. The Hop Knot, of course, at 1000 Elm Street, right across the street in the Brady Sullivan Plaza. They are New Hampshire's premier place for gourmet pretzels, which are delicious, as well as craft beer and wine. They have board games. You can hang out, play board games while you eat some delicious food and drink some wonderful beverages. And thehopknot.com is the website if you want to check them out online. That's K-N-O-T, not as in pretzel knot. But we're very honored and privileged to have them as a sponsor, the Hop Knot. So it is a wonderful place. Let's see. So here we are. Again, it is Thursday, November 6th, the year of our Lord and the year of our eunuchs, 2019. And Matt Connarton Unleashed is live. A couple programming notes. So tonight at 7 p.m., right here on WMNH, I will be back. For those of you who just, you get to the end of this show and you go, because I'm sure this happens to you, Michael Martineau, you get to the end of this show and you go, oh my goodness, I need more Matt Connarton. I will be back tonight at 7 p.m. right after the weekly die-on. But not for more Unleashed, but we're actually going to play some music tonight. So I'm doing a 1 hour special from 7 to probably around 8-ish of Kiss. Nothing but Kiss, because Kiss is my favorite band, and it is official. They are coming to the SNU Center. Is it the SNU Center or the SNU Arena? What do we call it, Michael?
SNU Arena.
SNU Arena. See, if I asked EZG, he probably wouldn't have even known that, and he's the entertainment reporter. Yeah. But you, sir, you are on point, as I believe the young people say. The young people say that now, right?
Yes.
You're a young person. You would know. Yes, you are on point. So, wait, which did you say it was again?
SNU Arena.
SNU Arena. Okay.
Because I walk there, too, so I should know the name.
You've got the inside track, my friend.
Yep.
So, Kiss will be at the SNU Arena. They are on the end of the road tour, so this is it. Well, they've got another 2 years of the tour, but I assume this will be the last time they will be in Manchester, New Hampshire. So that is February 1st. They will be there. It's a Saturday. Really looking forward to that. I've seen them like probably 20 times. They are my favorite band. I know people who've seen them many, many more times than that. But so tonight at 7 p.m., right after the weekly Die-On, I will be back, and I will be sharing an hour of some of my favorite. It'll be very self-indulgent because I'm going to share an hour of some of my favorite Kiss songs, and I'm not going to play the ones that you would normally hear on the radio. Because what's the point in playing the ones you hear all the time on classic rock stations anyway? In other words, my friends, I will not, during my hour of Kiss tonight, be playing rock and roll all night. No. You will not hear that. You probably won't even hear Detroit Rock City. You're going to be hearing some stuff you don't normally hear that I think is great. I will take requests, however. But having said that, if you call the show between 7 and 8 p.m. tonight and request rock and roll all night, please be aware I will hang up on you immediately. And I will not feel badly about it. I don't like to be rude, but if you request rock and roll all night, I will hang up on you.
It's kind of like what happened Tuesday night on the election special with Peter White.
What happened?
So the station was having the election coverage of the municipal election. I know you don't cover municipal politics on here, but
correct.
But since it was Election Day Tuesday, they had a special show with Ben and Dale Dion, Carol Overdo of Manchester Inklink, and Alderman Tim Baines, and I stopped by and I was able to get on for the second hour of the show. They were going from 7 to 9, and this guy, the phones were off the hook all night, but this one guy called like 4 times in a row, and he would not identify himself, and Peter White was getting insulted because he wanted to have this guy get identified. He finally did, but it was like he kept going on rants that were not relative to what the show was about.
Oh, what was it, John Hopwood?
No.
Sometimes he'll call it as different personas.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's John Claude. You just never know with that guy. Was it him? And then he finally admitted it was him?
No, it was somebody else. But talking about Mr. Hopwood, you have some signs up still on Hooksett Road by the Rite Aid, by the way.
I noticed that. Well, that is scandalous.
Yeah.
He should remove them.
Yeah. All election signs from the municipal elections should be down by now.
What do you think? Maybe we should send Easy G to take them down.
Yeah.
Do you think he's up to the task?
I think so.
Yes, I think so too. Yes. By the way, Michael Martineau, how are you? Because we know recently that you were corrupted by our friend Jeff Scumpy Lorenz, lead singer of DEF CON, getting you tossed out of the DEF CON show at the Davion. Have you been resisting this newfound life of crime that Scumpy has tried to pull you into?
Yes, I have. I've been
good.
I've been keeping myself out of trouble, participating in sports events, working the election on Tuesday over in Ward 5. So
excellent. Well, that's good to hear because I worry that he's led you down the primrose path with that satanic rock and roll music. Yes. Let's see. In the Facebook live chat, hello to Brian Mackey, who says good afternoon. Jenny is in there as well. Let's see. Wayne Noel joins us. Hello, Wayne. Wayne says good afternoon, Matt. We should mention, too, of course, that's one of the ways that you can communicate with us during the program is via the Facebook live chat. You can also give us a call at 603-250-6007. Excuse me, 603-250-6007. You can send a text to 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or even shoot an email to matt@ipmnation.com, and I shall read your communique on the air. Isn't that exciting, Michael Martineau?
Yes, it is.
It's the power of live radio is what it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So, now that reminds me. So the guy who, I didn't get to hear the election special live. The guy who kept calling, was it the same guy who apparently called the morning show yesterday and was insulting Peter White?
I didn't listen to yesterday's morning show, but so I have no idea, but probably.
Well, so here's what I'm going to do, because Peter, so I talked to Peter White earlier today because of, we had to discuss some technical things. I won't bore everyone with that, but we had to discuss some technical things going on here at the station, which, by the way, has to do with why you did not hear a replay of the morning show from 2 to 4 before this show today, if anyone's wondering. It just has to do with a technical issue here. The morning show will ultimately resume having an afternoon replay. That's just a temporary situation. But, and that whole situation is part of what, ironically, led to me getting to do a 1-hour special tonight. But anyway, so Peter and I were talking, and he told me about this call that he received, and I actually have the call here because he told me how to find it in the computer, and I want to play it. I guess this guy who doesn't like Peter White, and by the way, what kind of a jerk do you have to be to not like Peter White? Isn't it bizarre that there are people who don't like Peter White?
Yes, it is.
I mean, he is, first of all, this is not an overstatement. He's incredibly important to WMNH.
Yep.
Not only is he the host of the morning show, but he's the program director here. He kind of, he's the lifeblood of the organization.
Yes, he is.
He truly is. Like this would not operate without him. So he's crucially important. And he's just a really nice guy. Like, I've known Peter for, I got to cough again here. Oh, boy. I'll take a big gulp of water when I play this clip. I've known Peter for like a decade now, going back to the Amsterdam days. Always just a very nice guy. And so it's weird to me that someone would call up and insult him. Like, you know what's really weird about it, too, Michael, is the kind of show that I do, I expect to get a lot of hate because I do a political show mostly. I mean, we do other things, too, and sometimes we goof off and whatnot. But I have a lot of opinions, and, I know I have listeners who are very pro-Trump, and I'm not a big fan of Mr. Trump, as you know. And yet, but even the MAGA people tell me they enjoy the show. Like, even though they don't agree with me, they still like the show, which I take as an enormous compliment, actually.
And Trump did file for the primary today.
Yes. Well, Mike Pence came and did it for him, yes.
Yes.
But so I expect to get hate, and I don't. And it surprises me. And I'd be fine with it if I did. I always say, I'd rather be loved than hated, but I'd rather be hated than ignored, right? Because the worst thing is if no one's listening. So I'd rather people hate listen than not listen at all. But even people who disagree with me on everything seem to like me, which is nice. I do appreciate that. But but I'm surprised at how little hate that I get. But then to hear someone call up and hate on Peter is really just shocking to me. So he told me where in the computer to find the call, because he made a separate clip of the call. Now, I had heard snippets of it because he was this morning on the morning show. I heard part of the morning show this morning. I'm not an early riser. I tend to stay up very late. But I did hear a little bit this morning, and he kept playing, little snippets from the call. But I didn't hear the actual call. So when Peter and I were on the phone earlier, he told me where to find it in here. Yeah. And so now let's play it, because I'm very curious to hear exactly what this guy said. Apparently this guy identifies himself as Tom, and I'm really curious to hear this. So here it is.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello.
Good morning. Who's this?
Hello?
Yeah, who's this?
Yes, I'd like to know, do you get paid to do that show, or is that for free?
Why are you so concerned?
No, that's that's a simple question, because I don't know this. I just wanted to tell you that I find you kind of a nervous guy.
You do you?
I'm watching you on TV now.
Sure, I'm very
I don't
anxious.
know if you're on medication.
Get the towel. Get the towel, Peter.
But you're
crawling
around.
I've been like this since I was a kid. I've been like this as a kid.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
There is no medication in this body. So, by the way, who is this? Why don't you instead of calling on a restricted number? Why don't you?
Seems like he's a little nervous.
It sounds like you're nervous, sir. Why do you call with a restricted number to give me the business? Tell us who you are.
Yeah, what do you do for a living, sir?
Right?
What's that?
Why don't you tell us who you are instead of hiding behind a...
My name is, okay, I'll tell you my name.
Okay.
My name is Tom.
Okay, Tom.
Okay, so
what's
I
your
got
beef
that.
then? Why are you
Now
listening
that
to
I got that-
Why are you listening to the show then if you don't care for it? Why are you listening?
What? You shouldn't have
Why
a
are you
radio show.
listening?
You got a face for radio.
That's right. I never said I didn't. I never said I didn't.
You're not very good.
Then why are you listening?
Yeah, why do you listen then, man?
Why are you listening?
No.
Why are you
listen
listening?
to me.
No,
Listen
you listen to me. This is my show. You'll be listening to me. Okay? Listen to me. I'm going to hang up on you. You keep listening to my show that you can't stand.
There's all kinds of shows on. Listen to something else.
Tom, stop being a coward. Get your own radio show. Sorry, my friend.
Nervous guy. You're all over
It
the place.
sounds like you're nervous, man. It sounds like you're a nervous guy.
Are. You don't.
Then why are you watching? Why are you watching, Tom? Why are you watching? You're not going to get at me, man.
Peter, hold on one sec, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tom, what is your issue with him? I don't get that, because Peter's a pretty good guy. I don't get it.
You remind me of O'Rourke, you know.
Right. So you're not even listening.
Hold on, let him go, Peter.
You're not even listening. Matt has a question for you, Tom.
Sorry, what's your issue?
You mean the guy in the beard that doesn't work?
He actually,
Here we go. There we go.
He knows me. He doesn't know me.
Character assassination.
Wow.
Is that what this guy's job is?
Tom, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to my radio show. It's called The Morning Show with Peter White. Thank you so much for listening. Wow. You want me to let
guy last night?
you want to hear more, Matt?
No, that's whatever. It doesn't matter. The guy, listen,
He calls on a
he's
risk.
crushing himself by making false allegations, and anybody who knows anything knows.
He's hiding behind a
that
restricted telephone number.
I don't know. He's just you know what? You can't please everybody.
No, hey, now
and-
after the show, hey, listen, after the show, are you going to walk up and down Elm Street and ask for money?
No. Why would you?
my
Why would you
goodness.
say that? Why would you say that?
Exactly.
is he
Well,
talking to me?
you got some real derelict people on your show.
Really? Actually, do you know who Matt is? Do
Yeah.
you even know? Who are you, man? Who is Tom? Tell us about you. Tell us about
I'm the
you.
guy behind. I'm the guy in Kansas behind the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Talk about a coward. Talk about a coward.
Right.
The coward right there.
What is your beef, man? Come on.
No, what I'm saying is you're not a very good radio guy.
But you're
really
listening.
bad. You're terrible. And I don't know
but you're listening.
how they're
But you're listening to the show, you moron. Tom, do you realize what a moron you sound like? You sound like the biggest moron I've ever heard.
living. You must be living off your wife, or you're living at home with mommy.
Who cares? What are you worried about me for, Tom? Tom, why are you so worried about me? Put your big boy pants on and worry about yourself.
God.
Why are you so worried about everybody else? And why are you listening to my show?
At home with mommy.
Why are you listening to
Are you
my
still
show? No, I'm not with my mummy.
Are you-
No, I'm not with my mummy, you idiot.
I just
how
got
do you
away from my
support-
mummy
how-
6 months ago.
Will you stop, Tom? Will you stop? Because I'll just shut you down. You're already losing this. You're an idiot.
I don't know what you're doing.
Well, I do know what I'm doing.
Who cares, Peter? Why you're getting all
no,
worked up?
I'm not
dude.
worked up. I'm having a blast. This guy's a moron. Okay, Tom. All right. Well, listen. If you don't like
Yeah,
it,
go get your own show, Tom.
Turn the station, man. Turn the station. Why are you listening to me then? Why are you listening to the words of Peter White, the best radio guy that Manchester's seen in years?
That's right.
Right? Come on, Tom.
Hey, and we have an author here. We got Carol on the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's talk about other things.
Right, right. Go listen to something else, Tom. Have a great day.
All right, there you have it. Wow. Well,
Okay, definitely not the same guy from Tuesday night.
it's not the same guy. Okay.
Nope. The guy from Tuesday night identified himself as Jenkins. So
Jenkins.
yeah,
Well, but he could be using more than one name. He could be. He
But-
might not really be Tom or Jenkins, or he could be Tom Jenkins. So both could be true.
but by listening to that clip and remembering how he sounded from Tuesday night, it doesn't seem. Even if you're trying to impersonate, it doesn't seem like the same guy to me.
Okay.
So you, not to get into technical stuff, but so you can know exactly what number somebody's calling from on that thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's caller ID on the phone, but, you know, for what it's worth. I mean, because the reality is, I mean, we live in an era where it's very easy to, they call it spoofing a call, where you can call and make it look like a different number than you're actually calling from. That's how, like, our friend Chris James from Not Even a Show, when he started calling, he would, like, he's in Vancouver, but he would make it look like he was calling from Idaho using an Idaho number.
Oh.
And coincidentally, our friend Brian Mackey in the Facebook live chat is also from Idaho, which is why when Brian first popped up, I thought he was associated with Chris.
Yeah.
I didn't know if Brian was even a real guy. Jenny says, "What an absolute jackass," referring to that guy Tom, a jackass B. I think we know what the B stands for, Michael Martin.
Yep.
Oh, yes. But I wish I got calls like that. But you know what? Peter White kept calling him a moron because he listens to the show even though he hates the show. But like I was saying, some people will hate listen. I mean, Howard Stern proved that in the early days of Howard Stern. He had people who would, listen to him just because they allegedly hated him so much. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They loved to hate him. Sometimes people love to hate you. That's why I'd love for Tom to call me. I'd love calls like that. But the thing is, too, though, the thing that I think makes Tom a moron is he uses that face for radio line. Can I just say to anyone who has ever said that to somebody, that joke is so... It's until I got into radio, I didn't realize just how overused that is. Like, everyone says it, and everyone acts like they're saying something original and clever. So just so you know, if you're listening, and Tom, yes, this goes for you too. If you have ever said that to somebody who works in radio, oh, you have a face for radio, just be aware that you are stunningly unoriginal and not even the slightest bit clever. In fact, you probably are, like Peter White said, to you, Tom, a complete moron. Because if that's the best you can come up with, I'm sorry, but probably millions of other people have blurted that, oh, you've got a face for radio, ha ha ha. It's like the least original thing you could say to someone. And it's, you know what it reminds me of, Michael Martineau?
Yeah.
So years ago, now we're going back like 20 plus years, I worked in a store where we did this survey thing where they were trying to figure out for marketing purposes where people were coming from to come to our store. So when we would ring people up, we would have to ask people for their zip code. And I was, this was in Concord. So the most common one would be 03301 for people in Concord. But we would ask people for their zip code. I could not even begin to tell you how many people on a daily basis, when I would say, can I get your zip code, please? They would say, 90210. And they would look at me. They would say it, right? And then they would just look at me like they were waiting for me to just burst out into a hysterical fit of laughter because they just said something so brilliantly clever and funny to me. And this would happen multiple times a day. And I was so disgusted by the unoriginality of these people because one thing I've noticed about people who are not original or at all clever, they don't know. They also lack the self-awareness to realize that they're unoriginal and unclever. So they'll try to be original and clever, even though they're actually just really stupid. And, when you work in a job like that and you're in customer service, when somebody says something to you like that they think is funny and it's actually not, and they're too stupid to realize why it's not, you're supposed to at least give them a courtesy laugh. You know what I mean? You're supposed to at least go, just kind of a half-assed, chuckle, just so they're not offended that you didn't laugh at their very funny and original line. I wouldn't even do that. I would glare at them with disgust. And I didn't even care if they complained to my boss about it, that I glared at them with disgust, because I was so disgusted that I would ask someone for their zip code and they would actually look at me and say, ooh, 90210, and think that that was funny. And it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, the other 26 times I heard that today was also hilarious then, you a-hole. Does it drive me nuts? And I get the same feeling whenever somebody says, oh, you have a face for radio. It's like, oh, you're a moron. The other 7 or 8 times I've already heard that in the last hour today. Yeah, it wasn't funny then either, you dummy. So, Tom, if you're listening, you suck. And anyone listening who's ever said that to anybody, oh, you have a face for radio, you also suck. Just so you know. I'm sure in a million other ways you're a wonderful human being, but that one thing really kind of overrides everything else about you, and you're actually a really sucky human being. Just because of that one thing. I don't care if you've cured terrible diseases. If you've ever said to someone you have a face for radio, you are a terrible human being. And I hate you. But beyond that, I have no strong feelings on the matter. How are you today, Michael Martineau? You headed to work after this?
Yeah, what time do you have?
Oh, at the Tone, the time will be 4:30 p.m.
Oh,
Ding.
that went by fast.
That wasn't really a tone. It was more of a ding. I'm sorry. I don't know how do you do a tone? Like, boom. I don't know.
Yeah. That 30 minutes went by fast. I got to head off to work.
All right, Michael Martineau. Well, it's wonderful to see you, and please continue to stay out of trouble.
Yep.
We worry about you with the influence of Scumpy and that satanic music that he plays with those minor chords in drop tunings. It's very, very frightening, sir. So please.
I will.
All right. Michael Martineau is leaving us, and always nice to see him. Let's see. What have we got going on in the Facebook live chat here? Michael Albert joins us. Hello, Michael. I haven't seen you in there for a while. He says, Peter White is the king of all Queen City media. Yes. Sticking up for the wonderful Peter White. Yes. I think that's wonderful. Let's see. Brian Mackey says, LOL. And let's see. What else is going on here? Well, I guess. And Rocky Huber. Yep, I knew somebody else was in there. Hello to Rocky Huber, who joins us in the Facebook live chat as well. Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. From the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, you are tuned in to the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed.
Last night I dreamed I killed everyone but you. Last night I dreamed I killed everyone but you. I spilled all their guts as I poured out my soul. I came and I ran them all through. Last night I dreamed I killed everyone but you. Last night I dreamed I killed everyone but you. Last night I dreamed I killed everyone but you. I'd set them on fire so you'd have life. Now all I see is you. Last night I dreamed I killed everyone but you.
That's nice. Romance. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we're live on WMNH 95.3 FM, emanating from downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org, and on the Facebook, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Today is Wednesday, November 6th, 2019. And the gentleman you just heard, and I actually played that track yesterday, too, and got some very positive comments on it. That is Scrimmy the Dirtbag, who is sitting over there at the news desk. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you, Matt?
That's a big responsibility, being at the news desk. Like, for the time that you're here, you're the best newsman in the business by default.
You're in trouble now.
Yes. Let's see. So that was, of course, I Killed Everyone But You. Very, very nice song. A romantic ballad, if you will. No, that is a great track, though. And I did get some, I know we were going to save everything for today, but I played it yesterday to kind of give people a preview of who was going to be coming on. And I did get some very nice comments on it. So people really dug it.
Seems to be the one that everybody wants to hear at shows.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, of course, is from, actually, I'll hold it up for people watching online so you can see it. Scrimmy the Dirtbag and the Cocaine Zebras. And the name of the album is Spare Parts. And when is this coming out?
November 22nd.
November 22nd. Now, is this a world radio premiere? We like the world premieres here.
I guess so, yeah.
Yes. Excellent. And before that, too, to open the show, we played something from your band Razorburn City.
Yes.
A track called Snowstorm in Reno, which I really like. That's a great opener.
I like it a lot.
So I listened to that just today, and I was like, oh, I got to open the show with that. That's a good high energy way to start. So it's wonderful to have you here. You and I have known each other for almost 2 decades now. Yep. It's like, where does the time go? And I always, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but, most people I know, I can kind of figure, okay, I've known that person for 5 or 6 years or something like that. Okay, I've known that person for maybe 10 or 12, somewhere around there. But you're the only person I can think of offhand who I can always figure out exactly how long I've known you. Do you have any idea why?
I feel like, we worked together a long time ago.
Right.
And then we've always pretty much done promotion and booking and whatnot.
Right. But there's a very specific reason. I met you at when we were both working for the company that we used to work for back in 2001. I met you right after 9/11 happened.
Okay.
Because one of the first conversations you and I ever had was about 9/11.
Oh, no.
Like the day that I met you. Because I was working at the store in Concord, and you came down from Guilford to help.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we had a conversation about 9/11. So you're like one of the few people in my life who I can figure out exactly how long I've known you for based on that.
It's too bad that has to be your point of reference.
I know. Well, it's got to be something, right? And, of course, I've interviewed you actually many times over the years, but this is your first time on this particular show.
On your show, yeah. I think I was up here and I did an interview with Rob a few years ago.
Oh, yes, on Granite State of Mind. Yes. Rob Azevedo.
When the last album came out.
Fridays at 6 p.m. Yeah. Absolutely. Is that the one with Space Stalking?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great track.
You said it on the radio.
What's that?
You said it on the radio.
What, Space Stalking?
Yeah.
Is that why? What's wrong with that? Well, it's not like a swear term or something.
Urban Dictionary.
What's that? Why did Rob not say that word on the radio?
No, it's fine.
Let's see. In the Facebook live chat,
I'm trying to behave here.
Right. Yes. Jenny is in there. Brian Mackey from Idaho says good afternoon. Heidi Hamer, the Honorable Heidi Hamer, joins us. You're getting some love. Brett Higgins said Razorburn, love it, referring to, of course, Razorburn City, the band that we opened with there. What do you do in that band?
I am the bass player.
You're the bassist. Okay. Heidi Hamer says, so Master JC, referring to John Claude, didn't win his race yesterday. No, he did not. Of course, we had an election here in Manchester. Mike Pelopita joins us, says, sounds like your cold is back, Matt. No, I'm actually at the tail end of it. This is the best I've felt in probably a week now. So, and I ran into you last night, of course, at the LA Guns show.
Yeah.
I was there to see Ed
That was
Wise.
a good time.
Yep, Jenny and I went, and Edgewise opened, and they were phenomenal. They've been around for 20 years. Can you believe it?
Yeah. I've known Chris for at least a decade. Chris, the drummer.
Yeah. Chris,
who I've had
Hayakuna.
had an on and off again recording project with him.
Right.
Since we met. So.
Yeah, I think when those guys were in here, was it last week or
Probably
the week
last
before?
week.
Yeah, it must have been last week. That's right, it was. Yeah, he had mentioned that you and he were doing something together. So you've been in, how many bands have you been in? Do you even keep track?
Well, I don't know how it counts. Like ones that actually did anything or ones I just put together for fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
More than 20?
Probably.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Everybody gets sick of me after a while.
Really? Yeah. Is that why you started doing solo stuff?
I had a tour booked with my old band, Yankee Cockfight, and the band dissolved before the tour, and I didn't want to cancel the tour, and I had a handful of songs already ready to roll.
Yeah.
And I just went on the tour anyway on my own.
Right, yeah. Is Yankee Cockfight completely done?
I would assume so.
Okay. No, you guys had a tumultuous relationship, but
it is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah. But and you, what do you play? Because you're one of those people I'm always jealous of who plays multiple instruments.
I mean, on the Cocaine Zebra stuff, I just play rhythm guitar and sing. I do both poorly, so I have a really great band that fixes all of that.
Okay, so I have to. Well, let me say this: when I listened to "I Killed Everyone But You," I was actually very impressed with, because usually your vocals, they're kind of rough and whatnot, and that suits the style of what you're doing. But you sing pretty well on that. Like, you actually do have a nice voice.
I've come a long way.
Yeah. No, you have. Because I listened to that and I was like, he actually sounds nice. You know what I mean? Like you can definitely sing.
Thanks.
A lot of the projects
I have my moments.
Oh yeah. A lot of the projects that I've seen you in over the years, you've done backing vocals and maybe a little bit of lead, but no, I listened to that song. I was like, geez, he sounds really good on that.
Thanks.
Did you do anything to get to that point, or was it just a matter of, because obviously with the solo material, you've been singing lead.
I became the singer of my band by default, so over the past couple of years, I've had to just kind of figure it out.
Yeah. Well, it worked. So, well done. And now, why is this Scrimmy the Dirtbag and the Cocaine Zebras? Who are the Cocaine Zebras?
The Cocaine Zebras is a thing. It's Eric Ober, Kevin Landry, and Leviathan. But the deal is I've been changing the name of the band pretty much per show for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
And it became a joke. And then we decided that this was the main version of the band, and we decided to pick a name.
Yeah.
So when the Cocaine Zebras play, it's a very different show than most of the other versions.
Right, yeah. Leviathan.
It's a pretty tight unit.
Leviathan, he's in multiple bands too, isn't he? Yeah.
He plays in the Night Blinders, and he plays with me now.
Does he play in Donaher too?
Not anymore.
Oh, but he did.
He did.
Okay, good. All right, I wasn't imagining that. Yeah, and Eric Olber, he's done a bunch of stuff
machine
too, right?
Yeah. He plays with Oddfellows Way, and I believe he plays with Brooks Young, and he plays with Dusty Gray.
Yeah.
And he was in the Grebes for a while, and I met him when he was playing in Rippin' E-Brakes. And,
oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's great.
He's been in a lot of bands.
He's the guy you want to have around.
Yeah. Let's see. Hello to Mary LeMay in the Facebook live chat, as well as Amy Hazard King, who says, good afternoon, guys.
Oh, hello.
Yes. So now with Razorburn, and hello to Tony Petrello, who just popped into the Facebook live chat. Let me give the numbers quickly, too, of course. If you want to give us a call while Scrimmy is here, if you have any questions or comments or anything
Please
for
don't
him.
call me. I hate talking on the phone.
Well, it's different, though, when you're in a studio, because it's like you don't have to actually hold the phone up to your ear.
Yeah, but now I have to answer the phone.
I know. Well, no, I'll answer the phone for you. But I know what you mean, though. Like, it's funny because
As soon as we got Facebook on our phones, we didn't need to use the phone anymore.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, I was saying this the other day. It's like, all the millennials, they don't know how to talk on the phone. All they want to do is text. And I thought about it. I was like, well, actually, I'm the same way. Actually, most people from my generation are the same way, too. But 603-250-6007 is the number to call. 603-250 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476 if you would prefer, or send a tweet to @Matt Connarton, or even an email to matt@ipmnation.com, and I will read it on the air. Brett Higgins is asking, so were the songs around a while, or did you write them specifically for the new record?
The song we just played, the I Killed Everyone, was actually been around for a couple of years. We put it out on a split EP as a demo about a year and a half ago, and we re-recorded it for this. There's a song called Flesh by the Pound.
That's a great song,
that's
too.
Exclusive to this record, but it's been kicking around for about 3 years, and I never finished it until this.
Oh.
Break the Moon is new to this album. There's a song on it called Last Apology that's brand new that nobody's heard yet. There's a cover song on there that I can't say on the air, but it has some guest vocals from Doug from Scissor Fight and my homie Nick Barbarian and John Fadden from Onera and Ichabod. And then the first song is just more of like a instrumental collaboration between everybody in the band.
Oh, okay. Jenny is here as well. Hello.
Hello.
She was. We were at the show
you were there last
night.
night too.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're wearing
indeed.
the shirt I gave you.
I am. And I took your advice and
Cut it up.
cut it up.
I was going to wear mine, but then I wore the other Edgewise shirt yesterday. I didn't want to wear an Edgewise shirt 2 days in a row.
Why?
But I'll probably wear it
Why
tomorrow.
not?
Well, because that'd be weird.
Because why?
Because people wouldn't necessarily know that it was a different shirt, so they think I just wear the same clothes every day.
Well, I mean, you should,
Um,
truth comes out eventually,
right.
Saying.
Yeah, I was laughing when I read the title of the last song on here.
Wait, I have to see that now. You have to show me that.
Well, you can. I don't know if you can see it from there.
No.
But,
jerk. You're a jerk.
But what?
Let me show you. Hold it up a mile away.
With Razorburn City, are you guys playing out as a band at all? Or?
Yeah. No, we've been a band for 2 years so far, but we've only been active since like last January.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
but it's I grabbed a couple of friends from different bands that I thought would all mesh together well as personalities and like skill levels, and
yeah,
wanted to do something heavier again and wanted to get back into playing bass again. And
yeah.
So I got Lee Little, the old singer from American Burn. He's a really good friend of mine. And Brian McCarthy from Thunderhawk on guitar, and Charlie Farr from Halo and the Harlots on drums. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Is Thunderhawk still around?
Not they're still a band. They're just not active right now.
I wondered about them because I played when you mentioned them. I've played their. They do a cover of War Pigs.
Yeah.
That I've played on the show. That's really.
They were
good.
going to do a cover of Fleetwood Mac's "The Chain."
Oh, really?
Was
Yeah.
what I heard.
Oh, wow.
But they ended up doing War Pigs.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So now, are you the other projects that you've been associated with? Going back, like Mantra. Is Mantra doing anything now? Or
We haven't played a show, I'm going to say, in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So Mike's been doing his solo thing. I'm not really sure what John's up to. And
Yeah.
Sean's just busy being a family man.
Right. And then what's
It'd be awesome if we could play.
Oh yeah, no. As you know, I love Mantra. Those are great songs, and the chemistry of you guys on stage is remarkable. And then of course, and what about I'm blanking on the name now. The band with gravy.
Meat Saw.
Yes, is Meat Saw doing
The
anything?
band with the gravy?
Yes. No. The lead singer's name is Gravy. What? You've never known anyone named Gravy?
Why is it that everything in your world is associated with a food item?
That's how it should be.
Oy vey.
Yes.
As of this point, that band's kind of disbanded.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
we played, I'm going to assume our last show over the in June.
Oh, okay. So this year, relatively recently, or this year. Wow. Okay.
It was our 15-year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep.
Jeez, that's amazing. Where do you record?
So on this record, for the Cocaine Zebras record, we did almost all of it at Wrongtown Studio in Concord. Eric Ober recorded it and produced it, and then Ryan Jackson from Cactus Attack recorded the Last Apology song, and then Eric Sauter at Blackheart Sound mastered it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about Razorburn City? Do you record that there too?
We recorded that at James Moody from Thunderhawk's house, the drummer from
kidding.
Thunderhawk. He's got a studio in his house. It's real nice, and he was cool enough to hook it up for us. So
outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, we can. Why don't we play another track from your new album? This is here. I'll hold it up again for folks watching online. So, Scrimmy the Dirtbag and the Cocaine Zebras, Spare Parts, which is also the name of the first track on the album.
What are you going to play?
But let's see. We got.
I want to hear "Break the Moon."
You want to hear "Break the Moon"?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, what would you like to go with?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great
The
track.
middle section reminds me of like Ride the Lightning era Metallica breakdown. It doesn't really make any sense with the rest of the songs, but it's really fun.
Yeah, yeah. And while I'm queuing that up, this is going to be out when again?
It comes out Friday, November 22nd, and the release show is at the Dover Brick House. And we're playing with Left Lane Cruiser from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Bitter Pill from Portsmouth, I believe.
Okay.
And Joey Henry from the Calamity Cubes. He's just kind of floats around the country. I'm not really totally sure where he's from, but
really?
he's going to be there too.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Remember when everything used to come out on Tuesdays?
I do.
And then it changed.
I think about that all the time.
Do you? Yeah, it's weird, right? And then everything changed to Fridays. Yeah.
Working at a record store for the better part of a decade.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened? Why that happened?
I don't remember why it changed. Wasn't it like Eminem or something happened?
No, well, what happened was it was like this slow creeping thing where people started, what they call in music retail breaking street date to try to compete
Correct.
with each other.
Yeah.
So like Walmart would start putting out their new releases on Friday before the weekend to get a jump on everybody, and nobody could do anything about it because it's Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
So then the company that we worked for started doing that to
I
compete with
remember
Walmart.
the Walmart released the Eminem album like a week before it was supposed to come out.
Right,
So everybody had to just say, screw it.
Right,
and put it
exactly,
out.
because Walmart's so powerful. So then it became like this thing where after a while it was like, okay, I guess things come out on Friday now, and the entire industry just kind of changed, and it all started with Walmart. It's kind of a funny thing. Or at least it's
And all of that is dead now, and here we are.
well, it's not all. I mean, well, actually, before we play this
You
track,
were there
Break
till the
Moon,
bitter end, weren't you?
sort of, yeah, yeah.
You
2013,
Yeah.
But that company still has
some stuff.
yeah, not much.
Yeah.
Not much. Is this strictly an online release or?
No, man, I got physical copies. You got one in your hand?
That's true. Yes, yes.
I got physical copies.
Sometimes you have to point out the obvious there for Matt.
It happens.
I
I'm
know.
the same way.
I know. But we all love them.
Physical copies go out on the 22nd. Any pre-orders are going out the week before, and it'll go up on Spotify hopefully quickly after that, and all the other streaming services.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. And you've got a website, scrimmythedirtbag.com.
That is me.
I assume it'll be there.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent.
How do you spell it? Just to make sure people know.
SCRIMMYTHEDIRTBAG.com.
Cool.
You know how
So
long?
hard.
You know how long it took me to get used to referring to you as Scrimmy? Because back in 2001, the week of 9/11, you weren't using that name yet, or at least not publicly.
No, it just kind of happened.
Took me a while to adapt.
How did it happen?
It's a long story.
Really? Is it a long sordid story? Or?
It's a long, sordid story. I don't really feel like talking about it.
That's fine. All right, let's give this a listen. This is Break
You can
the
look
Moon.
it up on Urban Dictionary as well.
Oh! Well,
nice.
That's a good clue.
I'm so good at write that down, man. I don't want to forget it.
Right. That's a good
I want to
clue.
know where to look. I want to remember to look that up.
All right, here it is. This is Break the Moon, brand new from Scrimmy the Dirtbag and the Cocaine Zebras. That's great. That is Break the Moon, Scrimmy the Dirtbag and the Cocaine Zebras. And Scrimmy is here with us live in the studio at WMNH 95.3 FM. And, boy, I still have I'm still dealing with this cold too, you know. It's not just you. Bless you.
You're the evil cootie man.
No, I am patient
who gave
zero.
it to the entire studio.
Yes. No, I didn't give it. Nobody else has got it.
And probably like half of the state at this point.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Although at least my ears are still good because I could hear that, and that was a really good song. I like that.
Yes, absolutely. That is.
I really am going to have to listen
stuff.
to that last one on the CD when I go off air.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
I bet everybody listening wants to know what that is.
And this is out November 22nd, you said?
Correct.
Excellent.
Find out then, November 22nd.
Now, you're still doing, you still book the Shaft skiing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you
8 years.
8 years you've been doing that. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah, because you've booked a lot of places over the years, and of course, a lot of venues.
I still help out
know.
here and there with different spots, but this is my home base.
That's a place I haven't been yet.
Yeah, it's a nice room. It's a nice room.
Have to go.
And you do shows there every week, right? That you put on, yeah.
Yep.
And then do you play there too once in a while? Or?
Once in a while.
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of a variety, right? Like you bring in a lot of different
Everything from like metal bands to some hip hop stuff to country to like the folk punk, the indie rocks, like alternative rock stuff.
Oh, wow.
Try to do different things every single week to keep it like different things flowing, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool because a lot of times venues are like, they're kind of especially, you go to play, that's what they have the same thing or
Right.
a similar style.
We don't
I
do
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like mixing it up.
Yeah, well, it's nice too that that there's still somewhere in the area that really caters to original music because there's so many.
It's different when you actually have people running the show that actually are really into music.
Right, yeah, yeah.
I mean, obviously it's a business, but you have to like love it.
I was curious to ask you how things have changed in that regard because you've also been involved in that aspect of things for so long. And I used to be, I used to book a lot of shows and I did a lot of stuff at the old Uptown Tavern, which is gone now. For example, that was kind of my home base for a long time. And I did shows other places too. And, eventually my focus really shifted and as far as, more just being a broadcaster. But I'm wondering like from when, I don't know, if you go back even just 5 years, I mean, is it different now, or is it basically just kind of the same?
It's easier.
But it's actually easier.
It's easier now.
Interesting.
It's a little bit more
me.
stressful because of how easy it is.
Really?
Like, I don't mean like easy like in a cocky way. It's just everything's so accessible now, and
Yeah.
I can book a show within a few text messages.
Right.
I can access the band's Bandcamp pages through Bluetooth speakers from my phone.
Right.
While I'm on my break
I never really
at
thought
work
about
or-
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can check my email on my lunch break and listen to bands while I'm eating my lunch, and then I can say yes or no, or here's some dates. And
Yeah.
so
That's really cool. I think that kind of opens things up for more bands.
But the fact that that's all so accessible means that I'm that accessible. So my social media and my email and my text messages and Messenger and everything is pretty much constantly flowing, and it's hard to keep track of everything all the time.
Yeah.
You almost need an assistant for that.
Gets stressful. I would love an intern.
Yeah. No kidding. Huh? No kidding.
Here's the first word of it. If you want to be my intern, hit me up.
Yeah. Do you get do you have to reject a lot of artists who approach you about playing at the
It
Shaskeen?
depends because some stuff I don't really have an audience for it.
Right.
I can only sell it to so many people, and like I could get a really great band in a genre that I'm not familiar in, and I wouldn't be able to promote it properly because I don't have an audience for it. It's
right.
Not something that I'm familiar with, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you ever get anything that's just awful?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've definitely gotten some interesting things over the air where I actually had to write to someone asking if this was a joke.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you ever get
wow.
like they show them on those reality shows? Do you ever get people that like get mad at you?
Yeah.
Like keep coming after you, like, how can you not play us? We are the bestest band ever.
I have from time to time, I have to tell people that I can't book them and tell them why. Sometimes some people, like, I'm not super PC guy, obviously, but some people just kind of cross the line with content that I'm just not interested in working with.
Yeah.
So.
That's understandable. Now, something I hear from people is that one way it's maybe this is a myth. Is it more difficult to get people out to shows though now because of technology? Because some people would rather just now you're competing with
It's hit or miss.
Netflix and
It's hit or miss.
Yeah.
Because I definitely enjoy a good night off with like Netflix or like the Wrestling Network or whatever, and not have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
but I
Yeah,
still
but you're
I
around it
still
all
like-
the time. I think that
I still like
people
going
still
to
like
shows.
it.
I
Yeah.
still like going to shows.
Yeah.
I go
You
to.
can't get a live show out of your TV. Not really. I mean, yeah, you can get some decent sound, but
It's
it's
not the same,
same thing as
obviously.
being in the room with them.
Well,
and-
some people are just really into music, and some people are very passive about it.
Yeah. But it sounds like from your perspective, this whole narrative that's out there, that because I hear it from people, and again, I'm curious about it because I've been out of that aspect of things for years now. I hear from people that, it's so much harder to get people to come out for live shows now. But it sounds like with
sometimes the venue has a lot to do with it, or
Yeah.
like a promoter, or like you don't want to go see a certain band because they're a dink.
Right.
It doesn't work for everybody, I guess.
But you're still having a lot of success with it at the Shaskeen. It sounds like you're still
we got a good thing going on over there.
Yeah, that's great.
Josh James gives me the liberties to get away with a lot of things, and he gives me the go to book some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
So,
See, I've heard about them a number of times, and I've seen a number of shows that I've been like, oh, that would be cool. That would be cool.
But
Now
there
I
you
really
are,
want to
not
go.
going out to them
Now
and
I want to
staying
go.
home on Netflix.
No, I mean, yeah, you know what it is? Sometimes it's just to get up and go. There was this article read not that long ago that was this whole 5-second rule thing for life. Like when you're thinking about doing something and you're like literally trying to count to 5 to get yourself to do it. I've been doing that, and I'm actually going out more and doing more things just by getting out of my own way.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. No, I think we all can at times. Yeah. Are you watching a lot of you mentioned the WWE Network?
Not as much lately, just because I've been so busy dealing with just life in general.
Yeah. You've always got a lot going on.
So I haven't been keeping up as much. I just found out that the Fiend took the strap, so
yes,
that's pretty cool.
Yes.
And I
like
did
the
see
Fiend.
a pretty shameful match with Adam Cole and Seth Rollins the other night that I didn't particularly care for.
Yeah,
I haven't been up to date in about a month.
Yeah, I haven't watched anything in a while either. I'm
all about getting on YouTube and just watching old USWA matches from the 80s with like Jim Cornette. Like that's my jam.
You like the really old school
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Like the old crappy pre-taped gymnasium wrestling matches.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you I didn't even hear it, so I don't think anyone did. Whatever it was. But so have you seen any AEW?
I saw the second one, I do believe.
Yeah.
But I don't have the money for the pay-per-views, and
Yeah.
I've had people send me like links to YouTube videos because they'll go up real quick and then they get taken right down.
Right.
But I haven't had a chance to like get to watch it. Like, 'cause I've only seen one event. I think it was the second one.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything all the way through, but I'll go on YouTube and I'll find I'll find stuff. Or are you familiar with dailymotion.com?
That was they used to post like Raw and SmackDown like right afterwards.
Yeah, Dailymotion's a good site to go to if you're looking for stuff that YouTube yanks down.
I used to go on WrestlingUp.com.
I don't know that site.
I don't think it exists anymore.
Okay.
But they would just like put wrestling up afterwards in the sections.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Dailymotion posts stuff. It's basically like YouTube, and it's got millions of videos on it, but because people don't know about it as much, like nothing really gets yanked off of it. So you can find a lot of stuff on
now
there.
they do.
Well, now
that
they
you
do.
can't
Thanks
find
a
on.
lot,
Now they do. You
Matt.
just
That's
ruined
true.
everything for everybody.
I did. I've ruined everything.
Give everybody the cooties. You make the whole station sick. Now
Yes.
you're doing this. What the heck is next?
I know. I
You
should
take
have
candy from kids?
I should have. Well, it's too late now. It's that's what I did Halloween.
That's true. You
yes,
did already.
Yes, of course. Yes. Yeah, I haven't watched an episode of Raw or SmackDown in probably 5 or 6 years. I just can't. Like, I like NXT.
I like NXT, and I just haven't really had any. My weekly schedule is so busy. I usually only have like Mondays and Tuesdays free, and I try to dedicate them to just doing my booking, and then wrestling or whatever will be on in the background.
Yeah.
I'm in and out. So,
Did you ever go to any of the what was it, WAW, those events that that local promotion that we used to have in Manchester? Apparently they've moved.
I think that was before I was around, before I was living here.
No, because I used to because Ionis from Rock 101, and I was in First Shove with him. Like, we used to go see a couple of the guys from the band. Like, we would go see him wrestle at there's some gymnasium that's local. Because,
What, the JFK Center?
No.
I heard.
No, there's a small place where they used to have it.
I'm not sure.
I think you were in the area at that time, but apparently they moved just recently. But yeah, it was kind of fun, just, watching these local guys. It's funny because when you see it like really up close without watching it on television with a lot of announcers, you can kind of figure out how they do things and, how they land and how
There's I was going to some wrestling events with my drummer Lee because he's really
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So he would bring me to promotions where it would just be in like a rec hall, and there's no barrier, and you can get right up on the ring, and you just got to be careful that you don't get kicked in the face.
Right.
And you see everything, but I don't care. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's tons of fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny. I don't think I've ever actually met Lee in person, believe it or not.
He's a wonderful human being.
But I get that impression because I started now whenever I share anything out on Facebook that's wrestling related, he's one of the people I tag because I just happen to notice him commenting on stuff like that. So I started tagging him, and he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, he wants me to get on the AEW tip too, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But I did see that one Darby Allin match where I thought he was going to die.
Yeah, somebody like that, I worry about them ending up paralyzed or something. Have you seen Orange Cassidy?
I'm not sure.
He's the guy who he puts his hands in his pockets, and he does moves with his hands in his pockets.
Okay.
And it's kind of scary because, like he'll dive over the top rope out, what do they call that, a plancha? And he'll do that with his hands in his pockets. Mm-hmm. And it looks really amazing. It's amazing that he's able to do that. But then I worry, because he can't catch himself with his arms if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
But are you taking off? All right, Jenny is leaving us. She's not feeling so well. So it's she's pointing at me angrily. I gave her my cold, but I'm just about over it. But So, but yeah, the AEW, it's good to see them giving WWE some competition.
Did you see that the Joey Janela match where they dumped all the thumbtacks and they just it was him and John Moxley.
No,
and he slammed his bare feet into all the thumbtacks.
Oh no,
it was great.
See, I can't watch that stuff. The really hardcore stuff with thumbtacks or anything. Yeah, I didn't see that because like I said, I just go on and find stuff on YouTube. Yeah, I can't handle that thumbtacks and. I don't like blood,
I've been invited to go to CCW before, and I'm glad that I didn't go, but I've definitely I saw another Joey Janela match in person, and they barbed wire roped the ring.
Oh, jeez.
And I've never seen it up close, and his back hit that, and it just pulled on his back as he was trying to run away. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah. that stuff is too much for me. My uncle, this was years and years ago, he got me a DVD for Christmas of this hardcore Japanese wrestling, with barbed wire and stuff. And I never watched it.
Some of that stuff's pretty funny. The old Terry Funk and Mick Foley stuff.
Yeah.
Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just don't I don't know how more of those guys didn't end up with hepatitis, I mean, for real. It's that's crazy to me. Or I'd worry about somebody losing an eye or something,
You ever seen there's a match where Vader, you remember Vader?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I believe it's a match in Japan where his eye fell out.
God.
And he pushed it back in on his own and finished the match.
Oh, no. I've heard about that.
It's a thing.
That's nuts. Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. Yikes. I like a good old-fashioned technical wrestling match. I met.
I like it the way I like my music. It's a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah. I met. This is an example of someone who I really enjoy watching. Is when last time WWE was in town, I didn't go, but I met Drew Gulak.
Oh yeah,
I just happened to meet him out and about in Manchester. And that was really cool because he's a favorite of mine. He was the Cruiserweight champion at the time, and I think he's amazing.
I guess Ric Flair was at the Radisson a couple years ago, and he was hammered.
Really?
A friend of mine was working the reception desk, and she was telling me about it.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Styling and profiling.
Yeah.
Boy, he looks rough, but he's been through a lot. He almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez. But no, he kicked out. He kicked out at 2 3/4, I guess. Did you see the whole Saudi Arabia thing with Crown Jewel, and they had trouble getting back?
I read a little bit about it. I didn't see any of the matches. Like I said, I just heard that Bray Wyatt beat Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So
what do they do with that now, though? Like, doesn't it kind of feel like with the Bray Wyatt with the Fiend and everything, and like Jenny who just left, she's not a wrestling fan, but she's seen all the Firefly Funhouse segments.
It's wonderful.
Because she loves them. Oh yeah, it's the greatest thing they've done in a really long time. But it's like to push him that quickly to the world title or whatever.
He's been around though forever.
I know, but
he's been around forever, and they brought him up, and then they bring him down, and then they'd bring him up. I think they're trying to push him like a new Undertaker.
Yeah,
so he doesn't really need it. He doesn't really need the title.
No. That's why it's like I wonder, like, where do they go with that now? You know, it's like now that they'll
probably drop it to somebody else and then move on to the next victim.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't, like I have so little faith in the writing. Again, that's why I stopped watching Raw and SmackDown. Like I'm one of those cynical fans who I'm so afraid they're going to screw him up.
Of course they are. It's Vince McMahon.
I know.
Well, if you didn't watch, they're incorporating NXT into Raw.
Yes,
like an invasion.
Right.
And I'm not happy about that.
Well, they have a history of screwing that up.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, when they did the whole WCW invasion, here was sitting in front of them the opportunity to do, what should have been the biggest storyline ever, and they screwed it up.
Of course they did.
Almost immediately they screwed it up, and then they just kind of abandoned it. Screw it. And they even did, I think it was like 10 years ago now, but they did an NXT invasion once before too. Remember that?
I think that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So
they did when they did it before. It was
they brought out
Nexus.
a whole bunch of people on Monday night.
Yeah. And they're amazing. Like I said, I love Tommaso Ciampa is amazing, and Shayna Baszler. I like her because I've seen her in a couple promos too, where she wears a Kiss shirt. So
Nice.
My favorite band, as you know.
I do know.
Yes. Are you going to? They're going to be at the Snoo Center February 1st. You going to
What?
be? Yep.
Get out of here.
It's the end of the road.
Get out of
The
here.
end of the road tour.
Okay, I guess.
Last chance to see them in Manchester, like ever.
I've never seen them.
You've never seen Kiss live?
No, I've never seen them. And my girlfriend I think she was going to get me tickets for Christmas last year. But they were so expensive, even for like crappy seats.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and it doesn't look like they're going to be bringing out any Ace or Peter for any of these shows. So I'm kind of
Right.
But I've never seen it. So
Yeah.
I would really love to see it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go. I mean, I've seen them like 20 times, but this is it. The end of the road tour.
Yeah, right.
I believe it. I mean, they're like 70.
They could franchise that out.
I don't think they would. I don't think it would work.
Why wouldn't it?
People
Why
think
wouldn't
that.
it? If they just kept going and didn't say anything. There's multiple Blue Man groups. Why couldn't there be multiple Kiss?
I know, but it doesn't work with Kiss without
Or even like Ghost, like bands like that.
Yeah.
You'd never know.
But you'd know if Tobias wasn't there, though. Like, you're going to know. If it's not Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, you're going to know.
Oh, man.
You're going to know. And no, the people wouldn't accept that.
That's fair. I wouldn't, but...
Yeah. They'll accept no Ace and Peter. I mean, the current lineup, it's been...
Tommy's been in the band forever.
Yeah, it's been Tommy and Eric now for 15 years, this current lineup, so doesn't bother me any.
That's Eric Singer. He's been in the band since the 90s.
Yeah, because he's been in and out.
Since Revenge, at least.
Right. Because he was in for Revenge.
Yeah.
And Carnival of Souls.
And then he went and jumped to Alice Cooper for a while.
Yeah, because Kiss did the reunion.
Yeah.
And then when on the original farewell tour, when they weren't getting along with Peter, Eric came back.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was back out again because Peter came back briefly, and then Eric was back in. Yeah, Eric's on his third stint as Kiss's drummer. But yeah, I'll take him over Peter Criss any day.
Well, obviously, he's a far better musician.
But there are people who are like, there's those.
I would just like to see it. I would.
Right.
I got to see the 4 original members of Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Everybody else I know was like, well, I got to see him, but they had a different drummer. They had the guy from Faith No More playing, or the dude from Rage Against the Machine or something else. But
right.
I actually got to see him with Bill Ward.
Oh yeah, me too. On the Ozfest tour where they did the reunion, is that where you saw him?
It was them and Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Okay.
So like 2006, I want to say.
Okay. I had seen them.
2005.
I saw them. I think it was 2002 when they were headlining Ozfest. But yeah, it was the original 4, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, but I'm fine with I'm one of those Kiss fans. I say no Ace, no Peter, no problem. As long as Paul and Gene are there, you know what I mean? Brian is asking, Brian Mackey, hey, Matt, if you miss Kiss, Cher's coming round again, LOL. The Here We Go Again tour.
That doesn't make any sense.
Brian, I love you, but that's not funny to me. How dare you? I'm kidding. That's fine. You can dare. Us Kiss fans take a lot of abuse, but it's fine. I don't mind. Oh, and
if anybody has a copy of Dynasty on vinyl that doesn't sound like crap, send it here because I want it. Because
really?
I keep buying it, used copies, and they all skip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I think
I have 3 copies of it at home right now, and they're all screwed up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not many people can say that they have 3 copies of Dynasty on vinyl.
I do.
Wow. What is? Do you have? But you're not someone who has you're not a big enough fan that you have everything, right? Or
I've got quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't have everything.
Yeah.
Lee would be the guy for that.
Oh, I didn't know that about Lee.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Lee's a big Kiss fan.
Oh, that's cool. Well, now I like him even more.
He loves the Elder.
Yeah. Only diehard fans love the Elder. Yeah. No, but I'm this. Well, I don't love I like the Elder. There's some good stuff on there.
All right.
There's also some things on there that are not so great, but
it happens.
Yeah. No, but there's definitely some good stuff. Well, let's.
You want to play another song from the record?
We're coming up on 5:00, and you need to scoot.
Scoot a little while, yeah.
Okay. What would you like to play?
Let's play Flesh by the Pound. I think this hopefully will catch on with people's at the shows to do the sing along crap.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, I like this one a lot.
This is my version of Montrose Crawling, basically.
Oh, interesting. See, I didn't think so. Now I'm going to be thinking about that as we listen to it. Yeah, Crawling's a great song. All right, so this is Flesh by the Pound. This is Scrimmy the Dirtbag and the Cocaine Zebras from the new album Spare Parts, which is going to be out November 22nd, correct? Correct. Okay. And here it is, Flesh by the Pound. This is great.
I won't die. I won't by the pound. I won't give, I won't budge. Will I be the man you want? You be the judge. I won't sow, I won't reap. Will I be the company you choose to keep? Do you see the difference? Do you now? Do you really think I give a dish where you're at now? Flesh by the pound. Flesh by the pound. Flesh by the pound. Flesh by the pound.
That is great. That is Flesh by the Pound, brand new from Scrimmy the Dirtbag and the Cocaine Zebras, the new album Spare Parts, coming out November 22nd. And no, I love that. And it's got a little bit of that Americana flavor to it. Scrimmy is here. He's at the news desk, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
I am here to deliver the news.
Yes, yes.
We're all going to die.
Oh, no. Well, that's actually true.
Yes.
I mean, hopefully not soon, but you never know. There could be an asteroid headed for us right now, and we wouldn't even know it.
Please.
Nah, I have more. Honestly, like Armageddon would really mess up my schedule. I
wouldn't have a schedule anymore.
Right. Well, that's true. I have things to do, though. I have appointments. Don't you have appointments?
Not if the world ends.
Well, that's true. That is true. I guess that problem solves itself.
Yeah.
Have you written any apocalyptic songs?
What? So the I Killed Everyone But You song.
Yeah.
I had a dream, basically. It was almost like a zombie apocalypse dream.
Yeah.
And basically the song's about protecting the one you love and killing everybody around you.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh, interesting. Brian Mackey shared a link to the Here We Go Again tour. He wasn't kidding. I thought he was kidding about Cher. She actually is doing the Here We Go Again tour.
Sweet. Here we go again.
That's great. The prices, there's tickets for front row tickets available for $2,500.
That's not bad.
Wow. Brian also says hello from Idaho, Scrimmy. So I think you have a new fan from
hello
from Idaho.
Idaho.
Do you plan on touring Idaho?
I am pretty sure I'm retired from the touring.
Are you? Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. But you have you've gone
all over the place.
Yeah. Like with who? Like with what projects?
Mostly I did a lot of touring with Yankee Cockfight for a couple years.
Oh yeah.
We covered a good amount of the country.
Yeah.
And then I've done 3 or 4 tours as a solo performer, and I was able to bring a whole band on tour once.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah.
We did a summer tour and with Cactus Attack, and I had a band.
Yeah.
We went out to the Midwest and whatnot.
Yeah. Now, why do you say you think you're kind of done with touring at this point?
It's life's changed. You know, things cost money.
Yeah.
Having an actual job now.
Right.
Trying to maintain a home life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. If somebody wants to pay me to go on tour, I guess I can go on tour.
Right. But
gotta pay everybody else too.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not as glitzy and glamorous as people imagine.
not 8 people stuffed in a minivan with no side doors is not always what it's cracked up to be.
You can't just hop on a private jet, in other words, and just fly around and play shows.
Nope.
No.
A lot of peanut butter and honey sandwiches.
Well, that's disappointing. Oh my goodness! Do you miss it at all? That part of it, or are you kind of glad?
I miss the meeting people all over
Yeah.
the place. So like that's a kind of a bummer that I have friends all over the country, people I consider friends that I don't really get to see very often anymore.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So usually like other bands that are touring through that I've met in my travels, I usually try to scoop them up when they're coming through.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's good that you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jenny was asking me last night if I miss, even just, playing out and being in a band and all that. And, sometimes I do. Sometimes I get the itch. But the thing is, if I were going to do it, like, I'd have to, I don't know. Like, I would have to have, like, maybe one of the bands I was in reform or something, because I'm not going to
start from scratch.
Yeah. Not at this stage. Like, I don't want to, like, join a cover band and play Mustang Sally. You know what I mean?
That's a good thing, Matt.
It is a good thing, isn't
you.
it? Yeah. I have pride, I guess.
Good.
Well, that and it sounds depressing. I'd kind of rather slit my wrists and do that, to be honest with you. So that kind of sucks the joy out of it,
I've definitely cut back on a lot of that too, though. Like playing shows is not as much. Trying to space things out a little bit.
Yeah.
Make more of an event out of things.
Right.
Because you're doing we're doing the cockfight days. I was doing like 100 to 150 shows a year for a couple of years.
Wow.
Just so we could keep touring and paying our rent. So.
Right. But that's a little different, though.
Now I'm like doing like 12
a
year.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But it's a little different, though, when you're actually making money and you're touring around to different markets and playing and you're doing a lot of shows. I mean, that's great, really. But when because I've been in bands where, and I saw a lot of other bands doing it too. And I'm sure some still do. Actually, one leaps to mind that I'm not going to mention and I know you'd rather I not mention them. But no, but there's